we will start with José Romo from Madrid. He was studying in Madrid. He, in fact, in addition to his engineering degree, he also holds a degree in history. That's quite a common pattern we can find out. So most of these people have something in addition, at least one other thing, one other discipline. I find that amazing. So that already states that engineering is more than just one discipline. He then went to FICO, I hope I pronounced it right, became a partner, a CEO, and that's where he met Mike. And certainly he was also teaching. He is well awarded, he's very gentle, like this typical understatement of the engineering. I think that's something it's in his character. And, but it's also these very gentle other positions in the discussion about engineering design. So it is fantastic. You're not only talking about very complex technological aspects, it's also the history, the maybe renovation, reuse of the structure, which really is, I think, a specialty about his approach to structural design. So I'm very much looking forward to his lecture on human lenses.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Thank you, Annette, and thank you, Mike, for the invitation and the organizers. I am very pleased to be here and share this time with my dear colleagues and friends. Well, at this gathering of colleagues from all over the world, we have been asked about what are the challenges for the structural engineers of the present and future, and especially what matters today. Well, my first reflection was remember. Let's go with this. Remember this essay from Ortega y Gasset, is one of the Spanish philosophers that in almost 100 years ago, in 1939, he stated in his essay, Technology of Human Meditation of Technology, he stated that in order to be an engineer, it's not enough to be an engineer. So a very deep phrase. He explained that one must remain alert and step outside one's own profession and survey the landscape of life. So this is a very well reflection, and I believe, along with Ortega, that the structural engineer of the 21st century must also explore and understand beyond the technical. To structure my presentation, I focus on 4 points. And the first that has related to the bridge design I work in. And the first point is deciphering the landscape. I think this is an important issue, and the appreciation of the landscape started in the West in the late of the 18th century and the beginning of the 19th century. The exaltation of the nature, of the sublime, often portrayed in paintings alongside work with civil engineering, as in this picture by Pérez Villamil, one of the Spanish Romantic painters. The struggle of, you will, a coexistence between nature and technology has characterized civil engineers since its beginning. That epic of the 19th century, engineering to build railways and bridges in incredible places, like this Vizcaya Transporter Bridge in the Basque Country in Spain. You see here, this is amazing structure. Probably will not build in these ages. Or this bridge from Eugenio Rivera, one of our masters in El Viaducto del Pino, this splendid work when he has only 21 years of old. The struggle of, you will, a coexistence between nature and technology has characterized the civil engineer, as I said. But now the relationship with nature has changed. We have shifted for a will of domination to a posture of blending into the landscape, probably. But sometimes, as one of our main engineers, Professor Fernández Ordóñez, one of my teachers, said, a bridge ennobles a place, or as Heidegger suggested, it creates this. So when we design a bridge, for instance, this a small bridge in Córdoba over the Guadalquivir River, which is one of the most important rivers in Andalusia, we just built this straight deck, continuous deck, following the master of Javier Manterola, who explained that this is always a good solution to have a long line and then something special, in this case, for just crossing the river. This is the cross-section of the structure, and the only point, or one of the important points, is just to have one single arch. I think is more elegant than double. For doing that, we have a cross-section of the arch that was changing from the spring to the crown. In the crown, they have more wider, so there's no lateral buckling problem. So this also created a nice shape and a structure that is more than an object in the landscape. This is an area in Spain, is a small bridge in Cabezuela, currently under construction. This is the typical bridges that are over the Jerte River. Is a gorge in Extremadura area, and we have the possibility of designing a new bridge close to this, and this is the solution we made just to try to echo these stone bridges, but this is has to be very slender, and we use here, you see this slab that is flowing from the compression area, so creates a kind of, well, structural and aesthetic improvement. This is the bridge under construction now. Well, the design, I think, it must be robust, and not only in technical terms, but socially and culturally as well. The bridge over the Piave River in Belluno, Italy, this one, in Italian Benetton, emerged from a competition for building a new structure that will replace this provisional bridge. I think it was standing for 20 years or something like that, but it was provisional. So there were a competition to build a new one. We won a competition with this solution, along with architects Alberto Campo Baeza. This structure was mainly, I think, looking at the jury report, was mainly because of we have no elements above the deck. So this is the cross section of the solution. You see, it's mainly two lateral beams, and this is the elevation. And oops, we move to this. Following Italy, we have the chance also to win another competition. This in Toscana. This bridge is the Buriano. It's a medieval bridge. You see, it's steel carrying lorries and trucks and traffic. And the province of Buriano, well, they are very proud of this bridge. This bridge is, they say, this in the back of the Mona Lisa by Leonardo. The Arezzo guys claim that this because he was in Leonardo was in fact in Arezzo, escaping from the Medicis, and well, they claim that this. So they are very proud of this. So they prepared a competition to do another bridge very far from the old one in this, let's say, clean landscape. This is the Arno River, it's the same river of Florencia. And they decided to do a bridge about 1 kilometer. So this is very well, I think, because it's in a rural area. And we won also the competition doing something, well, let's say, discreet in a way. So you see here the design. So it's a beam, really, where we delete or eliminate part of the material which is not needed. So in this area where you have the shear is mainly going with the incline arm, you don't need so much material. So we won the competition, and now is starting the construction of this bridge in next months. To finish this part of about landscape, I have to say this is a project for a competition that was not built. We won with a team from Portugal, Adauda Fonseca, one of the biggest, nicer designers in Portugal, with also another Spanish company, EDM. And I think this reflects this elegance that characterizes the Portuguese way of designing. And remember that elegance comes from Latin, eligere, which means to choose carefully. So I think this design, mainly driven by our colleagues from Portugal, you see it's a complex bridge of 2 levels, 4 lanes, or 6 lanes on top, and 4 tracks on the bottom. And this is the image of the proposal, 550 meters of central span. Also, you see some small things that, the trusses that are very complicated are in dark, just to avoid to see this mess of different elements. So the landscape, the territory, is our field of practice. It must be interpreted with care and respect, understood beyond its physical form through its genius loci. We must employ our human lens to decipher its deeper meaning. Point 2, towards new functionality. Well, today in the Spanish cities and elsewhere, there is an inversion of values. What is technical, assumed to be well resolved, matters less than the shift towards mobility at a more human scale. No more is a bridge from A to B. So, for instance, in this project in Zabalgana, in Vitoria, in the Basque Country, we introduced 2 access points in one side and one in the other, where it was clearly coming the pedestrian. This is the structure. It's just a beam with some cables in below the area of disembarking. And you see here is the opening day, a U cross-section that we use very commonly with this external shape to avoid a longitudinal reinforcement, and also to break the massive of the web. Well, another project, this is more complicated. This is in Tenerife Island. So it's a connection of 6 different axes. We solve with, this is also the winning competition, the former also as well. And here, well, I have to say that it's just too complex to connect different points, and I think access point, ramps, vertical circulation, resting areas, railing, lighting, do more than serve a function. It's the way they perceive, or the users perceive the world. You see here that it was in a very complex area, so we can put the columns inside, outside, depending on the position, but it's very stiff on torsion, so we don't have a special problem. Well, here we have the father, Padre Anchieta, who gives the name to the footbridge. It was the founder of Sao Paulo in Brazil. So one of the key points was where put the statue, which has a value, and so we find this place. This is under construction at the moment. And this will be the final view of the project. So this new functionality demands innovative solution. Designers must go beyond the structural, applying the human lens to respond to functional demands and detailing. Well, point 3, engineering palimpsest. Well, what is a palimpsest? Maybe. Well, a palimpsest is a writing surface that has been scraped, so it could be used again, while traces of the original writing remain visible beneath the new text. In our discipline, palimpsest describes something that bears visible traces of history, where past and present coexist in a layered form. Well, you can find this in Spain. We have mountain areas where we have different, from Roman to highway, railway, highway, and then high-speed lines together. So we have tunnels, bridges, walls all together. Or you see here, this is the road from Granada to the coast. So you can see bridges from different ages, and also, well, the roads that are at different levels. So it's a problem always to work in this kind of position. In some cases, for instance, when the corridor is shared by 2 lines, normally it's a lot of crossing. This is, for instance, the example of the line from Barcelona to the French border, where the highway crossing, the high-speed line crossing the highway on the same corridor. For doing this type of structure, always is difficult. And this case the solution was to have a structure that can be launched without cutting the traffic. Here you see, well, this is the cross-section of the section. This is a high-speed line, so to have enough resistance to buckling, lateral buckling, we have this wide core beam on top. Here you see, well, we have the top core, and this is during launching. You see the structure. Here you see the weldings. I go with you. It's good to see how it was built. You see how the weldings of the different positions. And this is the bridge as it was finished. And this is in operation. And sometimes these palimpsests, nowadays, well, Spain is more or less built, I would say. But we have some new challenges, for instance, to build cyclist or pedestrian bridges. In this case, in this mesh of highways that are crossing of different levels, this is in the Basque Country, we have the chance to design some small bridges that continuity to this pedestrian path. So there are small ones to human scale compared with this, I would say, brutal building structures from the dictatorship area where we have the boom of construction in Spain. So we have this experience of doing something more closer to this human lens. Also, the cities are a palimpsest. So, for instance, Seville or in our cities, we have bridges that have changed the use. For instance, this bridge from Ribera, and also Torroja was working in this, very close to one of the most famous, Torre del Oro in Seville, and now it's a fixed point. So I have the privilege to design a new bridge there in this environment. We started with a straight line, and we were also, well, this is a very historical city, so we were not able to do something above the deck. So on the bottom you see this is the design. It's all in this area. You see the Alamillo probably at the end. And this is very similar that you also, Logan, because it's also a kind of arch. We had to leave a space for the boats, and we cannot go up to the two river bends. So it's an horizontal. They take in also the foundation has horizontal forces. So human lens approach is basic. When adding a new layer of the engineering palimpsest, every new layer demands careful consideration of what already exists. This is a very, very important issue. And I will finish with working with existing. We try, well, we have in Spain a lot of structure with heritage value, and we try, in some cases, we need to widening. So, for instance, we have this bridge. We use the resistance of the material, they are very strong. They are able to carry the new loads. So, in this case, just adding, instead of demolishing or doing a new bridge, is just adding a slab on top, we can do this. The more difficult is when we have the structure above the deck. For instance, in this case, if a bridge also on the Guadalquivir River in Villa del Rio, you see it's very narrow, and we have to widen. Fortunately, we have the possibility to cut the road, so we have the possibility to widen. Don't ask me about the barrier. I'm not responsible for that, but you see that the bridge or the substructure was able to carry perfectly the loads, and we maintain the lateral beam as the lateral truss as it was, with no problems. Just to finish, because I have only 2 minutes, I think. Well, some of our signature bridges has to be widened, or in this case, it's a bridge in El Centenario. Also, they have problems. I think it was the first collaboration with Slide from my office. They have problems with the stays. They are really in bad position. So we have the project for widening this. First, just to widen one lane in the center and changes the states, and secondly, just adding 2 lanes laterally. This is a very difficult project because we will maintain, maintain the shape of the towers. So this is under construction at the moment. So the structure you see is a precast concrete deck for 256 meters of span, so it's a huge structure. So we had to design underground, exoskeleton, we can say, to carry the loads, because we are going to replace all the states. So you see here how is now we are building this below, just to put the new states. When we have the new states, we will remove the old ones. So this is under traffic, and this was the what we expected to see at the end of the work. Just to finish, working with existing structures requires studying historical methods. Applying the human lens technical understanding is essential for the success. Just the conclusions, because it's time. We invited a writer to discuss about bridges last summer in some university with my FECOR Foundation. His talk was about bring me back the beauty. He stated this phrase, you can see, a bridge is an amendment to nature, a correction of nature, and therefore you, engineers, are obliged to make your bridges beautiful. Nature cannot be corrected with ugliness. Thank you very much.
Jose, thank you so much for your beautiful designs and your thoughts and your insights. And now somebody would like to comment, ask a question. Jose, when you do your designs, yeah, now you are educated also not only as an engineer but also as an historian or studied history. How did it influence? Now I know that you're working a lot with the historic designs, yeah, and taking care of historic designs, but in your new designs, how does it come into it?
Well, I think we have a lot. We can have inspiration from the past. Mm-hmm. So just looking up for masters, and is about the historical construction history, I will say, or historical in general. But I think learning construction history gives us a pride, in a way, to design new things.
Yeah, that's also something we should do in our engineering schools, learning about historic structures. So some questions, some further one? Not being inspired, there's one.
Thank you very much. You commented about some of the historic bridges, and there were some positive examples that are beautiful and inspiring, and some negative examples where you said, oh, that's an ugly bridge from a past time. I just would like to ask you, what do you think people will say in 50 years about our current era of bridge construction?
Well, I think, I didn't notice, but I like to say that our design has to be robust in three aspects. One is the technical. The second is economical. So if we do something where it's not economical, finally it will be not built. And the third is social. And I think this is important, the recognition. I think the users has the last word, I think. So I don't know what will will be the reaction of the future generations, but I think at least we have to hear. And for instance, this is people from outside the profession. This is very, very interesting to have this critical thinking outside the profession.
Yeah, I think the best thing we can do, certainly we don't know, but is to really try to think of that, yeah, and to also reflect our own design and struggle and fight for the best solution, the best design, yeah. And I think this effort, even maybe if it will not be 100% successful, but it's the effort, the intention really to do so, which is, I think, very, very important, that it will be stable even for the future. José, thank you so much.